Well, hello folks, welcome to Fulham. This is going to be our beta save for the next month or so through the beta and probably a little bit beyond that. I'm really excited about this one. I think this club has something a little bit special in the Premier League. I think Marco Silva has done an amazing job here, and he has amassed a squad which I think systematically does better than you'd expect it to, but it is a really solid squad of players. So my challenge over the next season or 2 seasons is to try and go a little bit further than Marco Silva managed. Will I be able to manage that? I don't know. I don't know if I've got the ability, but the squad is there, and I think we might need to do a little bit of tweaking. A few players in, a few players out, but I don't think it's an overhaul that's required. I really like the transfer business that Fulham have done over the last few years. So let's dive in. Let's have a look at the club. This is what we're going to do in the first episode, just a look around the club. It's going to be a short one, just so we know what we're working with, and and we'll see where we might need to look to replace. We'll show you the tactic that I put together for this club. I'm not sure whether we'll stick with that. We'll have a look at the fixtures. We'll have a look at our youth team and a bunch of other things and facilities as well. So we'll just have a good old nose round Fulham Football Club. Join me. Okay, I'll move my face just so I can show you something on this screen. So this is always going to be a bit challenging with the new game, with the new UI, which is really hard to remember how to move around. I think my overall thoughts on it at the minute, and they perhaps are a little bit different from what they were from the first look video, because that's basically the first time I'd seen it. I still don't mind it. I've watched quite a lot of YouTube content now on Football Manager 26, some of the big creators and their thoughts on it. There's a lot of negativity around it, and fine, got bugs and things like that, and those things need to be ironed out, and apparently those bugs have been here for quite some time. I'm still yet to see lots of them, but it looks like they are trying their best to sort of work their way through it. And remember, the full game doesn't release until the 4th of November, so we're still in the beta period. So it's it's not the end of the world at the minute if there are 1 or 2 bugs lurking around. I think I was watching Omega Luke's video, which he found this page which showed this mass of bugs that had been identified. But anyway, let's have a look at this screen first of all. This is the club. So our reputation is national. That's fair enough. We've got 40 grand in the bank. We've got some information on income and expenditure. It's interesting. I don't quite understand it. It seems like our transfer budget isn't easy to get at all. I don't understand why the transfer budget is kind of hidden away. It's like it's secret. It's not secret. That's the information. I want to know how much I can spend and how much wage I've got. I don't care too much. Well, I can use that as a barter system, but if I've got 40 million in the bank, that I know I can't spend all of that. So I need to know what of that I'm allowed to spend. But apparently that's too complicated to talk to me about. Anyway, facilities are really good. The stadium is immaculate, which is a surprise. It's a relatively small stadium, Craven Cottage, about 30,000, not huge. Training, excellent training facilities, good youth facilities, and good corporate facilities. So all in all, we've got a good place to train up and improve the players that we've got, and also those players coming through the youth system, which is what we want. In terms of what the board want, we'll just go there, and I do like the way that you can kind of go between things using these tiles, because it does feel like there's multiple ways you can go. And so I could have gone for the performance feedback through a different route, but actually this is a much quicker way of doing it. But this is interesting, actually. So what do the board actually think of us? As you can see at the minute, not an awful lot. I'm in the wrong thing at the minute. We're in the wrong thing. Let's have a club vision. Here we go. This is where we want to be. So What do the board want of us? So this season they want us to finish in mid-table. Okay, that's required. So obviously a poor season and we'll get sacked. We need to be competitive in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. I don't think any of that's too tricky. Looks like they then want us to challenge in a domestic cup the year afterwards, but that's only preferred, so I don't think that's essential to do. So that's what the board want. What about the supporters? It's pretty much the same there, but what about their actional objectives? This is kind of nice. So be competitive against Chelsea, maintain a higher reputation than Brentford, get better of QPR if we happen to play them, and become an established Premier League team, which I feel we've done. So well done me. What about culture? Oh, develop players using the youth systems. Is that what the board want us to do? Yes, and they want us to play possession football and attacking football. That's only favoured. And this is what they want, so work within the wage budget. So I think that's pretty good. Let's just have a quick look at the finances, see if we can figure out this mysterious transfer budget that seems to be hiding away from me. So, I'm right. I don't know what it's saying. So why is it so hard to see? Why is that not like front and center? Transfer budget. There's something here, but this is a projection. This is what the end. So why can't I just see what the transfer budget is now? How much do I have to spend? Why is that such a hard thing to show me? We've got everything else. How can you have all this information but not the one bit of information that is absolutely essential? Okay, I've no idea where that is. So it has to be somewhere. Let me know in the comments, where is the information on the transfer budget? Was I in the right place? Because that doesn't feel like the right place. That feels like a projection of the transfer budget. I don't need to know that. Well, I might need to know it, but if I'm actually wanting to spend money, I don't necessarily need a projection of my transfer budget. Okay, let's have a look at the squad, but we'll start off in the under-18s and we'll work our way up. We've got a few players who look like they've got some potential. This guy is potential 3 to 4 star, Nazim Ben Chaita. Let's have a look at him. So, okay, he's a right back. He's got crossing of 10. Looks like he's maybe a more defensive right back. He's got the good tackling. Heading is weak, but he's a defender. He's a wide defender, so that's fine. He's got very little acceleration, so he doesn't feel like he's going to be someone who's going to be bombing on. I think there's work to do with that guy. I like the high work rate. I like the teamwork and the good leadership and that sort of stuff. So it feels like mentally he's quite good. Technically, maybe not so. Yeah, and the marking's quite low as well. Feels like some of the technical stats, it feels like we're missing some of the stats. Have they reduced the number of stats or have they just, do you not get all the information there? No, it does feel, let me know. It feels like there's less information, less attributes. But maybe I'm just looking at that wrong. Okay, so he's the best player. The other player we've got here is Seth Ridgen, who looks a relatively solid sort of central midfield player. Someone we can maybe give some time to, but perhaps not. Right, so our under-21s, anybody at home. So we've got a few good-looking players. A left-back, who is John Esegna. This is looking a bit better. 18-year-olds looking quite good. So apologies if I'm kind of looking around the camera here because I have to do that. So his marking of 12, tackling of 12, heading of 10. That's not bad. That's not bad. He's got good acceleration, good crossing. He could be a somewhat attacking left back. That might be a fairly good player to have. Our striker here, when I looked at this guy earlier, I wasn't sure what was going on. It looks like he's leaving the club. Let's just have a look, see what's going on. What do we know about this guy? Okay, so he's loaned to Fulham, this guy, from Bayern Munich for £2.6 million. So why have we got him there? Is this someone we perhaps want to move him then to our senior squad? If there's no point loaning him and just having sitting in there, and he looks like someone who might be able to sort of come on do a job. So he is on loan. So who else have we got? So we've got Chibuzo Nwoka, another sort of defensive midfield player. Again, looks okay, nothing special. And then we've got this left back I think looks pretty solid. So it looks like we've got some reasonable players that we can bring through potentially, and we need to think about doing that because that's what our folks want. So what about the first team? Where are our skills here? And then we'll have a look at the tactic that I've put together. So I think first of all, ex-Arsenal goalkeeper Bernd Leno. I have to admit I'm not the biggest fan of this guy. I feel he's got a mistake in him. I don't think he was particularly great for Arsenal, and I don't think he's been the most solid player in the world for Fulham. He certainly makes the odd mistake and gives away goals, but he is a solid experienced figure in there. Maybe in the long term that's something we might look to change, but not at the minute. Joachim Andersen is a player I really like. I think he was brilliant at Palace. Very good signing for Fulham. He's one of the sort of signings I was talking about. So I think he will be a very good central defender. We'll just have a look at those attributes. I think very, very strong. It's the passing as well is really nice, having that passing, but a really tall player. 192 centimetres, so he's an absolute monster. We've got Calvin Bassey as well, who's a very strong player. Big. I think that's certainly one of the things with Fulham. They've got a lot of players who are really beefy, strong players. They've also got a lot of wiry players. There's a really bizarre mix of the two. The likes of Smith Rowe, who's not particularly strong, but he's quite good on the ball. And then you've got Iwobi running down the wing. There's an absolute beast. I think I like Anthony Robinson. I think he's a good left back. I mean, there's quite a limited amount of quality left backs in the league. I mean, Kirkes, Robertson, sort of two of the real good ones. Guardiola, maybe. There's not a lot of them. So Robinson is always someone who I've sort of thought is one of the better left backs in the league. He is out for 3 to 6 weeks, though, so he's not going to miss the start of the season. Sanderberg, another really good signing. I'm trying to think, was that from Leeds? Norwich? Was that from Norwich? I need to check. Burnley. Nowhere near. That's correct. I think, so another good signing there. And then sort of slightly further forward, we've got the likes of Raul Jimenez, Rodrigo Muniz, who both of whom are pretty good. I think goal scoring is maybe not the best there. I'm looking at the potential here. I don't know how their potential is higher given how old they are, but there we go. Should be looking over here. Raul Jimenez, very good. Kevin is someone I really like the look of, and if you've not come across him yet, he's only made a few appearances, but when I watched him on the highlights, he looks epically tricky. So we'll definitely be using him a lot to try and maybe off the bench initially, but I think we're going to try and integrate him into the team and make him an absolute key player. I guess what I'm sort of saying is I think there's a really decent set of players. There are some who you could get rid of maybe. The likes of Harrison Reed, for example, feels like someone we could get rid of without too much worry. We've got a lot of backup in that sort of area. And he's getting on a bit, and we'll get a few quid for him, and maybe we can use that to add to our mysterious transfer budget. So I think it's a pretty darn good squad. I'd like a little bit more firepower. I think I'm not 100% happy with the firepower we've got, but it would be nice to bring in someone who I felt was going to score goals. I think both Raul Jimenez and Muniz can score goals, but not a lot. And you sort of think, well, where are those goals coming from within that team? That's the problem I see. And I don't want to do a West Ham or anything like that. So, so there's probably some work to do in the transfer market, and we can have a little look who we, if we are thinking about loaning someone, let's have a look at who we might be able to loan. So looking at potential strikers that we know about at this point, these are the 5 strikers. Obviously, I've set one of the scouts to go and have a look at potential strikers that we could bring in. I don't think any of these are the solution to what we need. I mean, I don't know who this bloke is, Zan Viptanik. Don't know whether, I mean, he's 23 years old. He looks okay, but I don't feel like he's going to be the answer, a goal scoring answer. We've got Tyrese Campbell again. I think he's getting on a bit. He's a reasonable player, but he's a championship level striker. And then these 3, they're not prolific goal scorers. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who might be the best sort of player. There's just looking at their recommendations to us as well. There's a few here which are interesting. One that's caught my eye is Tyrell Malacia from United, who is just 25 years old. We could afford him, I presume. He's a good quality left back, and he would certainly add to what we've got back there. Can't play in the middle, but he can play a little bit further forward, and he's got that sort of more attacking ability. Feel that might actually not be a bad move, folks. I really think that's not a bad move at all. But we'll see. I'll have a think about this and think about what we might do recruitment-wise. Right, let's have a look at the fixtures that we've got coming up. Well, fixtures are really hard to find for some reason. I don't get that. But you can see we've got some interesting matches coming up. First one is away against Brighton, then home against United, away against Chelsea. It's a tough old start, that. We've got some interesting games in pre-season as well. And we'll try to get our new approach working. So let's have a look at the tactic that I've put together. Okay, so this is the tactic that we're going to go with. So it's sort of 4-2-3-1. This is the combined. So in possession, we're going to have a sort of quite attacking approach. At the minute, this is what we've got here, but I think bringing Kevin on would be a really useful thing. Maybe putting him on the right in the space of Smith Rowe. I think he's probably, because he's right-footed, he probably should either play as an inside winger on the left side in place of Iwobi, or as a winger on the right side. I think either way would be good. But we want him running at the defence for sure, causing them some trouble. I don't think this looks a bad side at all. I think it looks pretty solid. Just whether we can score goals. Out of possession, this is what we're doing. Sort of dropping back the 2 wide men. They're both relatively happy with that. And Harry Wilson stays slightly up there, just linked to Rodrigo Muniz, and hopefully the 2 of them can sort of hold up the ball and sort of take that away. I mean, that's not really Munez's game, but we'll see what that is. The other thing I did notice, and this is something that I saw when I was watching Omega Luke's video, and what he showed is this screen, which is, look, it's just an epic thing. So you can look at your tactic both in possession and out of possession, but what you're able to do here is then really kind of interrogate what it means. So thinking about, well, if the ball's there, where are our players going to be? If the ball moves there, where are our players going to be? And you can really see how the position is affected by the role. So you can see this inside winger role. Well, we know that's going to mean that Smith Rowe plays a little bit more inside, and that it leaves room for Tete here on the right side to really kind of bomb on and provide the width, which I think is rather cool. I think eventually we can bring maybe Sessegnon over on this side. I think he can play on the right side to provide that width, or bring someone else in, and then everyone's kind of moving over. And if it were back here, this is what it looks like in possession, and then out of possession, this is kind of what it looks like, which I think looks really nice. Very, very solid, very compact. You're going to have to go round us, I think. Everything's kind of tucked in. So I really like that. I think that's an awesome little thing that they put into the game. So there's definitely stuff like this that's really nice, and I think certainly that I don't dislike, and I'm actually starting to like, I think the tile system. I think, yeah, I understand maybe in some cases it's hard to find what you want. It's hard to, sometimes it takes far too many clicks to get somewhere that you want to get to. But for the majority of it, I think it looks quite good. I just think there's quite a lot that you can't find, or that just they've taken away or removed from the game. That was what he was talking about. It was stuff that had been taken out of the game. It's whether it's coming back, I don't know, but there's a lot of things that they used to be in the game that they've kind of taken away, and whether that's just to make it more simple or for some other reason, I don't know. Anyway, folks, I want to get your thoughts on this side. What do you think? Do you think this side is going to do all right? Are we going to be competitive in the league? Let me know your thoughts. How are you getting on with FM26? What's your first save that you've done, and how are you enjoying the new game? Are you hating it like everyone else, or actually secretly liking it? Certainly, the matches are absolutely gorgeous. The graphics in them are brilliant, and the sort of the way the ball moves around. It's just the pitch looks a bit weird as I remember last time. So what we'll do is we'll finish up there. If you did enjoy that, please hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. And make sure, folks, that you come over to the next episode where we're going to play our first game away at Brighton. If we are going to do a bit of transfer activity, we'll have done that by then. I'll let you know how we got on our pre-season, hopefully reasonably well. And fingers crossed we can start things well with a tough tie away at Brighton, and we'll go from there. Anyway, folks, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.